Down in the dungeon is all we know, where the shining light, we never go into the open. As far as you can see, it's wasting there, a big bright destiny. Don't you feel like breaking free? Open your eyes, embrace what you see now. Don't you feel like cutting loose? Yeah, cutting loose, cutting loose. I'm alive, I do or die. My mind stretched out on the canopy. My dreams getting bigger than you and me. I'm alive, I do or die. Taking the lead, now I'll never agree. My dreams getting bigger than you and me. I reach for the summit, calling for you. I close my eyes, can you feel it too? Don't wanna be alone when I got you. Escape with me, let me fall into you. Don't you feel like breaking free? Open your eyes, embrace what you see now. Don't you feel like cutting loose? Yeah, cutting loose, cutting loose. I'm alive, I do or die. My mind stretched out on the canopy. My dreams getting bigger than you and me. I'm alive, I do or die. Taking the lead, now I'll never agree. My dreams getting bigger than you and me. I would die for you. I would die for you. I would die for you. I'm alive, I do or die. I'm alive, do or die. I'm alive, I do or die. My mind stretched out on the canopy. My dreams getting bigger than you and me. I'm alive.
How we doing, everybody, and welcome. Sorry about the wait and the delay. We were just getting set up, and I hope everyone is safe and doing well. The world is a bit crazy right now, but I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope this evening we don't have any issues with our stream. I have got it set up slightly differently so that this evening there's a tiny bit of latency on the stream at my end, which should in turn give any buffering issues a little chance to sort of compensate themselves. And this evening, of course, we're continuing our series that we started earlier in the year, the sad story of Jaleayah Davis and the tragic death of this young woman on a night out with her friends, and just exactly what happened, trying to piece together and make sense of not only just the madness of the police report, but those that she was with, the events that happened that night. In the last episode, we looked at the car, and just the car alone, right, is enough to give you a migraine. I've taken 2 ibuprofen already in preparation for this evening because it is mind-numbing how much this family's been through, and just the way it's been handled is just insane. So before we get started, I just want to see who has joined us thus far and get the chat panel up. Just give me 1 second. It's been one of those days. How is everyone coping out there as well? There's been some pretty intense moments in Edinburgh, but I think apparently it's meant to be about to hit its peak in the UK, and then they're going to start lifting restrictions this month. So that's got to be seen as a positive thing. Right, I'm just popping the chat out and we should be good to go. Now, we're lucky enough to have Kim Davis, which is Jaleayah's mother, and Christina with us on the panel this evening. And I will just introduce them once I've got this chat and I test the buffering so we know we're good. And this evening we're going to be talking about the phone records, contact that was made between Jaleayah and her sister, and as well as some very unusual activity by the people that she was with that evening, and it just adds more migraine points to the whole situation. So what I'm going to do is just let me know how the stream is looking, and just let me know in the side chat, and I'll get our wonderful guests to come and join us, and we'll see exactly where we are in all of this. Kim and Christina, can you hear me? Oh, my mic is muted. I'm sitting here talking to you and my mic is muted in the StreamYard.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah, we were like, what happened to Ron?
Just further boosting Ron's professionalism as a streamer once again. The mic is a curse to me, and it seems like it's all good. Yeah, the stream's doing good, right? We're looking good. Stream is currently perfect, right? Wicked. Okay,
Nailed
so
it.
Christina is going to talk. Kim's going to talk us through a few photographs and things like that we've got. So I'm going to be sort of doing the old production on the side. So just bear with me if I need a minute to kind of pull things up. But Kim, how are you? How have things been since we last spoke to you? And I'm sure you've got a lot to tell us this evening on these phone records, and as well with the McDonald's images too.
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm okay. It's like I say, I think everyone is just sort of in a weird limbo right now. I feel like we're all just waiting on global news to find out what's going on, but I'm good. To be honest with you, other than the fear factor of everything, it's kind of business as usual for me. The kids, driving me nuts, Kim, right? Apparently, they just heard pandemic and went, no bedtime. That's what they heard. So
their sleep will be all messed up.
Oh, man. Their sleep is beyond me. You think they'd been on like a 14-hour flight to somewhere where the time's backwards and they were jet lagged. That's what it feels like. And don't get me wrong, Kim, we've done the whole, let's just wake them up at 6 in the morning. Show those little scamps whose boss doesn't do anything. It does not do anything. It just means you've got 18 hours of them instead of 12. It's crazy. But other than that, everything's great. Thank you for asking. But, like I say, we touched on the car last time and the amount of bizarre things that went on with the evidence and the way the car was released after it had all happened, and the way it kind of this doesn't add up, Kim, and I think that's just going to be the repeating factor in every episode of this, because none of it seems to make sense.
It doesn't. And I had sent some pictures to Christina that the insurance adjuster had taken. And she will tell you when that car came back, and I think he looked at it the first week, I want to say the 6th of January. And that car was all cleaned out. All clean. Nothing on the floor and the seats, vacuumed.
Now, just to be clear for everyone that's listening out there, we're not talking about Kim taking her car for a valet service here. We're talking about police evidence. Okay, and I'm not wrong in saying that's what we're talking about here, Kim, right? We're not talking about something that's, nothing should be washed off police evidence. You shouldn't be tampering with police evidence. Am I right?
That's correct.
So it's just weird.
Yeah, that's like if you're going in on a murder investigation as a detective and you're like, well, this house is really messy. Let me just clean it up before we take some pictures.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that would never happen in any other circumstance, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, that's what it feels like. If it's another layer of fishiness to this already super fishy situation. But what I think we'll do is I'll try and grab our first sort of images. Which do you want to start off with these call logs, and we'll talk about these call logs?
Okay,
Or,
we'll do that.
or where would you like to start? Do you want to start with the map, or do you want to start with McDonald's? What would you? What's the best place? You let us know, Kim.
Let's start with the map.
All right. Okay. So that is this one here, and this one here. So let me just do this. All right. So I do believe this is an explanation of what we're looking at, right? Which is the map in general. Actually, what I'm going to do is give me a sec. I'm going to try and pull this up on this page here. And then I should be able to drop in the explanation beside it, and that'll look way better. So just give me 1 second. This one. All right. Put that there. And image, add. Sorry about this. What? No. Sorry about this, everybody. I'm just adding a new image here. And then you'll be able to see exactly what we're talking about. All right, here we go.
Okay. With the colors, the yellow line going up through the center of the map from the bottom to the top, that is 77. Okay, the interstate.
Okay.
And then on the left-hand side of that line, see each of these colors, the shaded colors on the map that I did not put there, that is the actual separate cell phone towers.
Okay.
Hit those areas.
So these
okay?
sort of blobs, if you will, these are all cell phone ping areas.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And the
And
red,
it says on the bottom.
and this little red
where it
line
says-
here, is that what you meant was? Oh, that's part of the journey, right? Sorry, Kim. I'll let you explain this. Sorry.
Okay, there is a red patch in the center, lower center of the map that I have a purple line going in along
Okay.
the yellow line. That red, the cell phone tower pings, indicated that between 3:20 and 3:33, Jaleayah was in that location. Okay, then there is a yellow area, and that indicates between 3:33 and 3:36, Jaleayah was in that location. And they know this based on phone calls, okay, between her to Tabi and Tabi to her. Then in the blue, now the blue meets the purple. If you follow the red line going up, you can see where the blue meets the purple, okay, the left and the right. Once it hit in the blue, that is where the 911 call came in. The 348, that call.
Okay.
The red line, I have that red line to show that Jaleayah could have been in any spot during that phone call, indicating through the purple. Between 3:36 and 3:44, she could have been anywhere in
on
there.
that strip. Okay.
Okay, but do you see where there is a black line going across towards the top, and there's a black dot? Okay, the black line is an entrance ramp and an exit ramp. And I got on the entrance of that and drove exactly where Jaleayah was killed, because we have it marked with a flower arrangement, okay?
Okay.
Plastic, okay. It took between 75 and 90 seconds to get there. So that's kind of like to give you an idea of how much that space is actually in comparison to time.
Okay. So
Now, the kicker on this, though, is they got a cell phone call, or I'm sorry, a 911 call at 3:41. And I don't have it in front of me what the man said, but that man indicated that something was going over there. He's right beside the car, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I
When that
remember
phone
that.
call came in, okay, when that phone call came in, it was still in the purple. So, my point to this is if her car was found, or this happened, let's say this man saw this happen and it happened in the purple, but her car was found in the blue, which would make sense because the car was found farther past her body, north of her
Yeah,
body.
of course, yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that man saw something. I don't know how he could not see something.
Well, in my opinion, he saw something suspicious enough to go ahead and call 911.
Exactly.
And then the call dropped. So we
Mhm.
don't really. And like you had told me, this guy was never even interviewed by the police. Is
Yeah,
that
he was
correct?
sort of an enigma, wasn't he? He just made a call and then that was his role in this done. There was no follow-up, was there?
Correct. Not that I'm aware of. And in my opinion, I don't think he was going south. I think he was going north because it was so dark that night. I remember looking over and I could not tell you where the guardrail was. I could see how Jaleayah's car appeared to be turned in an angle, but I assumed, that was the direction the road was going. But you could not see the guardrail from the north hand side or the southbound lane.
Okay.
So
Well,
how
and
he would.
also, yeah, when you get your car, when you get your tires aligned and calibrated, they make it to where if you were to fall asleep or whatnot at the wheel, that your car will drift to the right here in the States.
Okay.
know?
Yeah, I think that's the same over here as well. Like, but obviously the opposite, if that makes sense.
Correct.
But that's interesting what you said about the observation point, and if this caller was coming north as he said, or was coming north as he said, no, yeah, going north as he said. You're saying you couldn't see; it was almost obscured his
He would
viewpoint.
have to be going. He would have to be going north to see the guardrail because when we got on the interstate going south to go to the scene, you could not see the guardrail. There was absolutely no light in that area. None.
Is that's even more suspicious. The fact that
And maybe he noticed because, yeah, it was so dark, and he said the lights are on the inside of the car.
You know what I kind of wonder too? I kind of wonder if he actually passed Jaleah's body. And then when he got down to the car, when the person was getting out of the car, that's when he knew he had to call it in. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Maybe.
Which would explain why at 3:41 he made the call, which is in the area where Jaleayah would have been found. And then the car was down in the next area. Because that first truck driver did say also that there were cars that had just went through there, and they asked him if they were in the passing lane or the traveling lane, and he said the traveling lane. So there were other cars that went by that,
it's, my mind's just been blown again with this, Kim, with this guy who made the call, then suddenly vanished, then you've rewalked his footsteps, so to say, and it doesn't add up. What he's saying doesn't add up. And it does make you question what he saw, what he originally or has reported, and why he's been...
his number isn't even in there.
Yeah.
Now, the first caller that we were aware of, the 348, his number was in there, and they got a statement from him. But they didn't even have this other caller's number in the logs, in the 911 logs.
That is really suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Well, yeah, I think they took it out because, like, one of the first thing he says is, "There is something going on over here."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it was. I'm calling about a car that's broke down on 77 North. And he says on the 181 or so, the lights are on. It's up against the guardrails. Something's going on there, but I couldn't see anybody. It's pretty cold out, so I don't know what's going on over there. And the 911 operator says, "Can you give me a vehicle description like red car or blue truck?" And the caller said, "Pardon me." And they said, "Can you give me a vehicle description like red car or blue truck?" And they said, "All I know, it's a car. He had his lights on. He's right by the car. He's up against the guardrail. So there's something going on over there." But I couldn't see anybody standing around. So, the car or the people. I couldn't see but the lights on in the car. So something's going on over there. And the 911 operator said, "Can I have your name, sir? Can I have your name?" And it got disconnected.
But what would be going on in a car if the car's
Uh-huh.
already at the
When
top
they
of a
say the
hill?
cars broke down, yeah, when they say there's a car broke down,
Well, no, hang on,
or it looks like the cars broke down.
But the car, and again, I just want to say, it's, this is going to sound ridiculous, this next sentence, right? Her car was found up a hill, like...
No, it wasn't up a hill.
Was it not?
It wasn't up a grade.
It wasn't up a grade, but it was far from her body, right? I mean, it was...
Yeah, it was almost a quarter of a mile.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and then it was
arguably,
around a curve.
let's just arguably say the car drove there itself. Just for argument's sake, the car just spontaneously drove there. What would be going on at that car that would make anyone
Exactly.
pull? If it's just an empty car, what's anyone seeing?
Mm-hmm.
So they must have seen something.
Something's going on over there. What does that usually mean?
Yeah.
Something shady. Something's going on over there.
Yeah, because I normally, I don't just call 911 for no reason.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's
Even
not...
if I see a broken down car, like normally that's not something to call necessarily 911 about unless it looks suspicious.
I have never called 911
No,
because the car's broke down.
Lisa's saying on the side, it's not unusual for someone to call the cops on an abandoned car. I totally agree. It's not, you've got to understand, it's a parked car, right, that is now tied to the death of a young girl that has apparently been found by the police empty with the doors shut and a window blown out. But someone's reported seeing the car and something going on over there when the something actually went on way down the road. So, do you see why this gives me a headache?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It really does. I don't understand this. So, the truck driver was interviewed again, right? The truck driver, he was interviewed. He was questioned again by police, right? And
Yes. He was very specific in his details about what he saw.
Yeah. And he was firm both times, or every time he was spoken to. There was no new revelations in memory or nothing popped back. It was just the same story repeated, right?
Correct.
It's weird. It is just too weird. And just to let everybody know, you may be tuning in. This may be the first part of this you're watching. We're kind of diving in deep right now. We do cover everything in the last couple of episodes that we've done, and we are going to try and put together something, whether it's smaller videos that kind of can be put in a playlist that'll tell each little part of this, because it's so overwhelmingly complicated. And there's the official story, then there's the new revelations, and then there's the suspiciousness, and then the layers of fishiness throughout it all. And there's no part of it where you don't feel like someone's not talking or blowing smoke up your ass. The police, the 911 calls are friends. Like, it's just insane. It really, really is. And we're going to have a look at some more images and just sort of keep going with this. And I'm going to bring up the map just one more time on full screen, Kim, just to sort of let everyone see what's going on here, because I just wanted to let everyone see it just a little bit larger, but it is not getting any, it's just not getting any, it's not making any more sense. It's just making less sense.
Mm-hmm.
It really, really is. If anyone's on Twitter as well, feel free to DM me any questions or anything like that you might have on this. Twitter's a lot easier for streaming because it's desktop based, and I can get in there on the desktop. So if anybody has anything that they want to put forward this evening, please feel free to do so. So Kim, what would you like to look at next? Or is there anything else you'd still like to touch on with this map? I don't want to skip over anything.
No, I think we're good with that.
Okay.
That bottom line, though, that bottom line, black line going across,
Yeah.
that is actually where her car got on the interstate.
Okay. So this is like and what was the top black line here?
The top is another way to get further closer to home.
Okay.
To get on the interstate, where I test drove to see, and I was only going 60 miles an hour.
Okay.
It was raining that day, and I set my time watch on my cell phone and checked to see how long it took me to get to where Jaleayah was killed.
Okay. And I just want to say as well, there's a link in the description to Kim's Facebook page, and all of this is over there as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just to let everybody know, like, the link is in description. Make sure you go over to Kim's Facebook and support Justice for Jaleayah, and you'll be able to dig into this a little bit deeper and get a better look at these images, because, and take some Advil before you start. So what is next, Kim? The call logs, do you want to look at the McDonald's situation? What do you feel is the next part you want to look at?
Let's look at the McDonald's
Okay.
screenshot.
All right. Let me just make sure this is all lined out. Now, what I'll do is if we start at the top, I can zoom in and do this in like thirds, if you will. Does that make sense?
It's not an actual video. It's just a screenshot.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. It looks like it's multiple cameras. It's almost like 3 panels and then 3 half
and
panels.
There's only one in there that actually has Freddie's car in it, and that's the one with the man right there in the center.
Yeah, this is Freddie's car here, right? Through this window.
In a sense, yes. No, down. Right, up. You can see it kind of shining in the window that the manager's working. And the time on that's when he actually pulled up to pay.
That's 3:27.
And the time on that, correct. Okay. They left McDonald's through the parking lot at 3:33. Okay. Why that's important is because Camille had told me that these people had an alibi because they were seen on the video of the McDonald's drive-thru. And she put in her final statement that they were there until 3:38, which would make it impossible for them to have anything to do with this.
Right. And remind everybody who Camille is. Kim. Can you remind everybody who Camille is?
Oh, Camille Waldron is the lead detective. And she had never actually been to the site. She did all her work at her desk.
What? Wait.
Yeah,
sorry. It sounded like you said the lead detective done all of her investigating from her desk there.
Correct. She actually took another detective, the crash reconstructionist. She took his word for everything.
Yeah, she took his word and then became the expert on it.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently.
I'm just a bit dumbfounded. Like what?
Let's go to Jaleah's cell phone
Okay.
records, because that's where this picture comes into play.
All right. Let me just give some zoomage here. There we go. All right. Yeah, it might take a minute for the stream to catch up if you guys are watching on the stream. But yeah, Dragon, something is definitely up. It is absolutely tragic. Lisa, Rainy, Dragon, Omen, Shady, Jube, all... Chris, Damaris, everyone welcome. Ellie, thank you for joining us. It is a really complicated, sad, and all too real story, this, so... I hope everyone's doing really well. What are you doing? Sorry, my dog is just thumped down on the floor behind me. But are you able to see these logs now?
Yeah, it looks really good.
Okay.
It's perfect. You can see everything.
Great.
Okay, in the third column, okay, at the top of it, this is actually from the cell phone company. Okay, they had to have a warrant to get these, but they only had the warrant for both my daughters. They did not get the cell phone tower information from any of these people that were with her. So the third column from the left, the first red dot is at 3:20. Okay. That call lasted for 3 minutes. And during that phone call, it was when Jaleayah was asking to go over to this guy's house, a friend of hers that she's known for years. And he discouraged her because there were some females there that she didn't get along with. But they talked for 3 minutes, and he told Camille Waldron that he could hear Kristen in the background. So that would have put it at 3:23. The big red dot is where she called Tobby. And she asked Tobby to meet her at the BP gas station. And she said during the conversation, Kristen, give me my keys. Okay.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
Tobby said she could hear Kristen's mouth running in the back. She, not like she was talking to Jaleayah, but like she was talking to someone else. So that's at 3:38, or I'm sorry, 3:33. At 3:33, if Kristen was with Freddie, they were just pulling out of McDonald's. I'm sorry, that was at 3:28. They were still in the McDonald's drive-thru. Okay, at 3:33, the blue line. Yep. That is where she called Tobby and was hysterical. Okay. And she was calling Kristen all kinds of names. Okay. 3:36, the first orange line is where the call did not go through. And it was sent from Jaleayah to Tobby, but it like rang for 26 seconds.
Yep.
Okay, the 3:34 down through the 3:47, including 3:48.
Yep.
When the 911 call was made. On the right-hand side, I have that blocked out. That was Tobby trying to find out where Jaleayah was because she knew it had been too long. Okay. The wait was for Jaleayah to meet her.
Okay, so this is Tobby sort of panically calling to find out where her sister is.
Correct. And then as you go all the way down to the right, you'll see a number that's 304-210. That's Kristen's phone number in the very last column on the right. And she's calling Jaleayah her phone between 4:04 and 8:53? No, I'm sorry. 4:04 until
4:11?
4:27.
4:20. Oh yeah, 4:27. Yeah. Shit.
So she keeps repeatedly calling her, okay, Jaleayah's phone, which,
Okay,
I mean, okay, so then if you go to Toby's cell phone records,
Okay, 1 second. Okay, do you want the one with the highlights on it, or do you want the one with the little black dots on it?
the one that you can see, it looks like this one.
Okay,
It's
there we go. Right, we'll just give that a little bit load, let the stream catch up for Kim, and I'll go back to the side chat just for 1 minute. A lot of support.
So basically what I'm saying is at the moment that Jaleayah was telling Kristen to give her back her keys, Freddie was paying the man at McDonald's.
Yep.
The moment she was hysterical, Freddie was then leaving the McDonald's parking lot.
Correct.
Okay, so this one is Toby's phone number.
Okay.
I have Toby's all white out because,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
kidnap their privacy. And toward the top, you see at 3:28,
Yep.
there was an attempt or a phone call. A phone call was made. One was made at 3:33 between her and Jaleayah. Then you see the 3:47, 3:48, and so on. But then when you get down to the very, very bottom, at 4:03 is when she had contact with Kristen.
Toby did.
Okay. And she hung up on Kristen.
Okay.
Because she had realized what was going on.
Okay.
Toby had actually called me at 3:57 and couldn't get a hold of me and called my mother's phone at 3:58. And then she called me again at 4:03 to see where I was at because she felt I should have been there by now. So then if you go on to the next big one.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, shady. It doesn't make any sense at all. I think there's a lot of support pouring in for you, Kim. A lot of confusion and anger as well.
Okay, look at all of these calls.
Yeah.
All of those going straight down on the right-hand side, clear down to 9:51 in the morning, are Kristen trying to get a hold of Toby. All of those.
That's like 6 hours.
You even see one at 4:48.
Okay.
And you see one at 9:51. The police were at her door, I think, at 7:15 in the morning. And she wasn't answering the door. But she's up all night trying to make these phone calls.
And am I not right in saying the next time she resurfaced, she'd lawyered up as well?
Yes, it was around 5 o'clock that afternoon. Her attorney got a hold of Camille Waldron and said that they would schedule an appointment, a time to come in on Monday.
Now, just to clarify, this is one of the friends that Jaleayah was out that night with, and the only member of this entire story who, the same day as this took place, the next time she was in contact with anyone, it was her attorney that stepped forward for her, and that in itself is really bizarre. I mean,
and some people, let me make this clear. There are people I noticed on other comments and someone else's, YouTube video, they said, well, that's the smart thing to do. Why would her mom get mad if she got a lawyer? That doesn't make her guilty, blah, blah, blah. That wasn't my issue. That wasn't my problem with the whole mess to begin with. My problem was, number one, it was a conflict of interest. But number two, most importantly, actually, my daughter was hysterical over this person. This person was one of the last people to see her. This person was, the last name that came out of my daughter's mouth before she told her sister she loved her. And this girl can't be found, but the police are going to give her 2 days to get her story straight.
Yeah.
No. She could have lawyered up and he could have taken his butt down to the police station that day.
Well, and from what I understand, what she thought in the morning was that, and this was from her exact statement, was that Jaleayah had died of a drug overdose in a motel room.
Mm-hmm.
And so why all the frantic calls, and then why lawyer up if that was your suspicion, if that's what you're going to go out there and say?
She tried to say it was because I had put on social media that I was blaming her. That's why she got a lawyer.
No. In that short a time? Really? Yeah, no.
And yeah, she was trying to get a hold of Toby, but honestly, I think she was trying to get a hold of Toby to see what Toby had to say, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, yes, because like with most killers, I watch a lot of ID channel, and they will follow the news. They'll it's something about like they want to know what everybody else knows. So it's almost frantic to get to know what everybody else knows, if you know what I mean.
Now, Kristen said in her interview that her phone call with Toby was around 4 a.m. I know I'm off by a few minutes on that. But she said at that point is when Toby told her that Jaleayah had been in an accident. Okay. She also told Camille Waldron that in another phone call they talked, and she gave Toby directions to this boy's house where Jaleayah's car was parked. Now, why would Jaleayah be telling Toby to meet her at a gas station on Route 2, where that second black line was? That was Route 2. Meet her at a gas station there, and then meet her at the rest stop if Kristen had given Toby these directions. And supposedly these directions took place after she said, I'll tell you when I get there.
Yeah.
She's totally lying about how many times she talked to Toby and what they talked about. And then, Katie Nelson is playing it off like she doesn't know anything. And she's saying that when Toby called and hung up on Kristen, that they were walking up the steps in Kristen's house. But Kristen said when she got that phone call, they were all still in Freddie's car.
Yeah, they don't even seem to know what they're talking about. Like
her statement was the only one that was completely off. I mean, she couldn't tell you anything.
But then she wants to put a statement out years later saying, well, I've taken 3 lie detector tests that I've paid $200 each for.
Yeah, but that, how we...
Yeah, a good lie detector test costs like thousands and thousands of dollars.
It doesn't cost anything to type whatever you want on social media. Like...
Exactly.
That's great that you're typing stuff on social media, but that means nothing. It means nothing.
I could type that I'm the Queen of England.
Yeah.
And,
it's a great soundbite for people reading back. You know what I mean? Anyone reading it back is just going to be like, oh, well, 3 lie detector tests, what she got to hide. Everything. That's what she's got to hide. Everything. It's just...
Well, and her whole statement that she had put out there, I felt personally, which I know we'll get into all these at another point, but I felt it was just such an attack towards you, Kim. Like,
Which one? The one she put on Facebook, or the
uh,
or what she gave Camille?
no, the one she put out on Facebook.
Oh yeah, she told me I should be ashamed of myself.
Yes, for trying to ruin people's
Yeah, I think I see
lives.
that one as well.
Wow.
I think I see that one as
Wow.
well. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Now we've
Mm-hmm.
got a few people in the side chat who are sort of tallying up the amount of things that sort of ring back bells with killers and things like this. And one of the things was people who take and collect items. And of course, we covered the keychain in the last episodes, but just to remind people that one of these individuals was found with your daughter's keychain that was given to her by her sister, and these things aren't things
Yeah.
you give away to people. You know what I mean? And they're
No.
not expensive. They're meaningless to other people. Meaningless, you know. But to the person,
Yeah.
they're treasured.
Kristen had Jaleah's keychain. You know, the person that Jaleah was saying, "Give me my keys."
Yeah.
Kristen had the keychain. Mm-hmm. And she said it was a gift. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, because a J keychain means so much to somebody whose
Yeah.
name starts with a K. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it doesn't make any. It would make more sense if she was just being a bitch and took it off her keys, and
Yeah,
that's what the row was about, and she just said that. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't make her. It wouldn't just be another point in the massive stack of points that just makes her look so suspicious. It's ridiculous. It
And you know
is
what I really want
ridiculous.
to know? I want to know why. I get that Kristen's dad, you know, thought, hey, this woman hates my kid. But Katie Nelson's parents never said anything to me. They never gave me their condolences. They never tried to get a hold of me. And the interesting thing is, I never said Katie's name. I mentioned that Jaleayah was with them, but everybody knew who my issue was with. You know, the person Jaleayah was crying over.
Yeah.
But Katie had never tried to reach out to me and say, you know, I'm sorry, but hey, listen, I didn't do anything to your daughter.
I just don't understand if these are all meant to be your friends, why there wouldn't be
No, they
that.
weren't friends. They weren't friends. They were acquaintances. And I don't know if Freddie hung out with Katie before this happened. I know after it happened, they were hanging out, but they were tweeting back and forth to each other. I mean, I guess that's not a big deal, but at the same time, it is after something like this.
Yeah, Freddie's been quite prominent as well in his social media posting of things since this has happened as well. I've been checking in on his accounts every now and again. But
Oh, yeah.
surely they all have to know something.
Oh, they do. Absolutely, they do. I mean, Katie claims she's got an alibi, but Freddie says his alibi was the girl that worked at the Nipping Queue. And I got a hold of her on Facebook Messenger, and that girl told me she didn't remember anything about that night. And then she told me, well, she could remember that she got home, you know, to his place after work, and she ate some SpaghettiOs.
Man,
But she couldn't remember anything else
you
because
need to send me a link to her. We can
She
see what she can remember. Like that.
But she said she couldn't remember anything because she was a recovering heroin addict.
That's fine.
And at the time, she was on drugs.
All I'm saying is, if just for the lawyers who are watching, hypothetically, okay, if there's anyone involved with this who's stupid enough to discuss this digitally, okay, that's who we need to start looking at. So anyone involved with this that would be stupid enough to text back and forward.
Oh, that's Nicole Diaz.
Okay, so that's who, after this stream, you and I will have a chat about. That's who we need to focus on, because there's a lot of things built into Google that would give you fucking nightmares, all right? And we know how to use them. So it would be really interesting to see if there's been any mistakes made in digital footprinting and Because the fucking cops aren't looking into that. If the detectives just sat at her desk, fucking fingering her arse, doing fuck all, like, no one's looked into this. So that's where I want to look. Because that's...
Nobody wanted to look into this.
Well, I'm telling you.
Nobody wanted to.
If you know what Ron's like, if Ron finds anything, I'm not going to be showing it. I'm going to be treating them all like puppies, and I'm going to rub their fucking face in it, okay? And it's too... Oh god, I'm going to start ranting again. I'm triggering myself. It's too frustrating. It's too fucking frustrating. So, and like I say, the last time we looked into this, Kim, I was riddled with the cold. Couldn't focus, wasn't able to follow up on anything because it was awful. But we've all got nothing but time now, and there is individuals within my community here absolutely champing to jump on research trains and all the rest of it on things. So if there's anything that you've got that you need more eyes looking over or anything like that, I'll get Christina.
There's a couple of tweets.
I'll get Christina to show you how Discord can be set up. We'll get you in there completely invisible, so you don't have to worry about people, and we can kind of go from there, and I'll put you in touch with some trustworthy community members that'll quite happily try and dive through some stuff for you for sure.
And one other thing that I wanted to point out, everybody please go to the Justice for Jaleayah Facebook page if you can. Kim, I'm going to promote you right here, but you have set up a GoFundMe to get an attorney, and I know times are tough. It's crazy world right now, but if anybody can help,
I didn't know about that. If you can send me the GoFundMe link, I'll stick it in the bottom of this video, and I'll send it out now. So if anyone can send me that link, Christina or Kim, that would be sweet. And I'll get that slapped in the video. I'm sure it's on your Facebook page, but a bit of spamming.
It is, but I haven't been posting it lately because I know people are out of jobs and their family should come first.
No,
exactly. And I only mention it because I didn't know. I know the last time we did a live, there was not one set up, and everybody said, "Oh, please set one up." That's the only reason I mentioned it.
Plus, as well, though, you got to remember, GoFundMe's don't go anywhere. So it's like, if when
if you can't,
the pandemic's going to end soon. You know, it's going to end eventually. And let's just make sure we've got everything there so everyone can do it.
Even if you can't donate, just share it. Share it. That's all.
So many people are in the side chat like, research. Did someone say research? I'm ready. Aiko, you're too fucking busy on what we're doing. Just relax, okay? You and me are already working, but there's an abundance of people that'll be happy to help. We'll make sure the GoFundMe gets put out there, and you know, even if you need some more help with anything else to help you raise funds, we can talk about that as well. It's really easy to set a lot of this stuff up. So there's loads of avenues, but certainly I did forget to add that in, Kim, so I do apologize. Thank you for making sure we covered that, Christina.
And like I know everybody's strapped, but just share it, because you never know who it can reach.
I'm just saying, you know, this has happened to Kim. It's undoubtedly happened to other mothers around the world, and it just takes that one eccentric billionaire mother who wants justice for her daughter through you, Kim, to spear it all forward, if you get my metaphorical situation.
That would be nice.
Yeah, and like I said, I've written congressmen in that area. I've written to the White House. I mean, you never know. You never know what can happen. Like I've always said, if you scream loud enough, somebody will hear you.
I can tell you exactly what's going to happen, right? The next few months will go by once international fucking flights reopen and shit like that. If the ball isn't fucking rolling, I'm just coming over there, and I'm just going to go and ask the police what the fuck they're doing. Like, and I'm going to cause they'll have to talk to me. I will be a living nightmare within the realms of the law. A fucking living nightmare. That'd be great.
Yeah, and speaking of within the realms of the law, I'm sure I've told you, Ron, I know Kim knows, but that my dad's a retired LA police officer.
Yep.
I'm not going to say the exact city, but LA. And I gave him this case information. And he even said, oh, they're covering up something. They're helping somebody here.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
definitely.
you know, even an ex-cop can say, yeah, this is quite strange. Because like he said, I've never come across an accident where somebody is ejected through the passenger side window from an airbag in the driver's side. Never.
Never in the history of cars. Never in the history of cars.
He was a cop for 20 years. I mean, I wasn't a medic for that long, but damn, I mean, I never saw anything like that either. And I've seen some crazy shit, you know?
No, it's not.
And it would not just be going through that window. It would be going through that window without leaving a single piece of evidence.
Right. No evidence. Exactly. And
just,
yeah.
Like, yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about going and talking to the police and saying, hi, I'm here to talk about the Jaleayah case. Like, we need to approach this from a much more, how crazy are the youth of today on the internet and how quickly they rally behind injustice. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just like sell it as like a justice for Jaleayah mass gathering YouTube event in a field and just watch the police shite themselves.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It does, as long as we can get the people there, right? It doesn't, you know, the police are going to fucking lose their mind. And if it's all peaceful, but you know, a few thousand
Well, and
people.
I don't think you have to worry about the police even being there because seems to me like they tend to follow the Jaleayah case on Facebook.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
I gave her a screenshot from a few years ago where I caught Camille Waldron. You know how they put a little period in the comment section, so when people comment, they get a notification. I took a screenshot of that. She was following the page. Kristen's mother commented on the page.
And Nyla has found us the GoFundMe here as well. Here we go. So
Thanks,
I'll make
Nyla.
sure this gets put right now in the description. I'll also spam it a few times here, but I'm going to go and stick it in the description of the video so that if anyone is watching this back, you will indeed be able to find this. So 1 minute. Let me just get that set. Oh, man. Oh. Right. Okay. Kim's Facebook page. All right. Put it under there. Okay. So. All right. So if anybody needs it, if you refresh your page, you will now see the link in the description for the GoFundMe. And, you know, I think that's definitely the right thing to do. I mean, that's the whole essence of GoFundMe. And we'll do our best to spread that around and make sure as many eyes fall on that as we can for you, Kim, for sure.
Okay,
For
thank
sure. Now, where are we? Now, you have a few images here of Jaleayah with a few of her friends from that night. Is that right? Our acquaintances from that night.
They're all Kristen.
They're all Kristen.
They're all, but
Okay.
I think it's weird because Jaleayah's got different tops on in this. You know how they were supposed to get ready at Brian Sapp's house? It's not, they are black tops, but it's not the same one she was wearing.
Okay.
And I know that's not a big deal, but it kind of is to me. It's.
So she left in one outfit, got changed to go out in another outfit, and then was found in a completely third outfit.
Well, yeah, part of her outfit.
Yeah, our top, our top had changed effectively.
But it does show me what Kristen was wearing that night. So if I could get somebody to blow up that video from McDonald's, where you can see who the passenger is.
If you can get me as high res, is this the only image you have of this image? Is this the one?
No, see, here's the thing. What does it mean, the KBs behind the numbers? Like if you've got so many.
Okay, yeah, KBs. You want the highest KB as possible. That's called kilobytes.
No. Okay, this video has 650 some thousand. It is almost impossible.
Have you got this video?
To you.
You got this as a
Oh,
video.
yeah.
Oh, don't you
Yeah.
worry about that. Don't you worry about things you find difficult to send. That's what I'm here for. We will get, if it's digital, do you have to worry? You don't have to worry. Oh, if you can get me this video, I can do all kinds of wild things.
I've got little clips of the video
Yeah.
on my site.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, that can be what Ron does this evening. Yeah, I can definitely try and, I mean, I'm not saying we're going to be able to do much. It looks great, really great. And again, this is just testament to the fact that every CCTV camera in the world is, why are they so shit? Like, why?
Well, and that's what I would like to know.
Like-
We now have high-resolution pictures of Jupiter that just came out today. The most amazing pictures of Jupiter, high resolution.
I watched
Yet
Mars.
CCTV is like,
Yeah.
who is this person?
Yeah,
It's a blob.
I literally
Yeah.
watched a stream from Mars. Okay, Mars in HD. Mars streamed in HD. This is, it's just, I don't get it. I really don't understand. Like,
I can definitely tell in the video that it is Katie Nelson in the back seat, and it is Freddie driving, but all you see is like a forearm of a white girl in the passenger seat. That's all you see.
well, I'll definitely take a look at that. 100%. I'm a complete nerd, so fire that over and I'll.
Well, and also, didn't he get rid of that car, or was it just a temporary?
That was the loaner while they were fixing his.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, well, that's awfully convenient as well.
Yeah, exactly. So a loaner car cannot be probably, they probably didn't even go into
No, they didn't.
fingerprinting and seeing who was actually in that car.
They didn't even ask these people at McDonald's at the drive-thru what they remember. They didn't ask.
What?
Oh my God.
They did not
Oh,
ask.
great
They
police work.
questioned.
I wonder. Okay, let me think about this. Right, so that's what 2011, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, how would we journalistically get the employment list from McDonald's?
I
for
know who that
period?
guy is. I know who that guy is.
Okay,
I can
wicked.
tell you off the air.
Okay, wicked. Yeah, because I mean, I don't mind reaching out to these people and being like, "Hey, we're covering this story, blah blah blah. Do you want to talk to us?" Like, and if they're like, "No," I'll be like, "That's suspicious. Why? Talk to me."
I think it would be out of fear to not get involved. You'd be surprised how many people don't want to get involved. And it's understandable because look what they did to this case. The guy that tried to get involved and said, look, everybody knows what happened. Even my, mother knows what happened. And he was right on a lot of it. I mean, he got some names right and a few details. But what's the point in getting involved if these cops handle it? Now, if somebody higher up gets a hold of it, yes, I think people will come forward.
Man, I just feel they're the best places for me, right? For my brain's sort of saying to me that I want to focus on areas that the police have just not bothered doing. Do you know what I mean? Like this guy. Do you know what I mean? If the police haven't talked to him, we can talk to him. If no one's done any digital enhancement on this footage, we can do that. If we need some people looking into Twitter and things like that you were talking about, we can totally do that. And we can start sort of peeling away the label, so to say, of this whole thing, and at least be trying to at least put something new forward for you, if that makes sense. Because I mean, I do feel there's just so much. I feel so useless.
Ideas.
I just feel so useless.
I got some ideas of who you should talk to.
Sweet.
I do. I've got some ideas.
Brilliant. Like I have zero issues. There's like I'm not worried. I've no fear of some crazy cop in America doing anything. So.
Anyone... Oh, those pictures the last time I was on that showed blood on the door?
Yes.
I sent that picture. I sent the original that they had given to me in the FOIA request. They kept over 100 pictures from me. But I took that picture, the original one that they gave me, and I zoomed in and, showed him where that blood was.
Yeah.
And that's all I did was send those 2 pictures. And he didn't respond. That was a month ago. Nothing from him, nothing.
They just want you to go away, Kim.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, they really just want you to go, oh, well.
That ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Fucking right, it's not going to happen.
And it shouldn't.
Fucking right, it shouldn't.
And we're not going to let it happen.
No.
Mm-mm.
No. Definitely not. I just...
This is ridiculous. Wait until we get into this and you see how Camille Waldron talked about my daughter.
Okay.
She talked
Disgusting.
about her like she was trash.
Okay, hang on a second. So that was the super amazing detective with her thumb up her ass, right?
Yeah.
Detective thumb up her ass. I think we should focus on her next time. I think the next...
that'd be good.
I
I think that would be perfect.
Yeah, I think we should. I think until we start figuring out, because I mean, Kim, I don't know if Christina talked about it, we really want to do something that's 5 to 10 minute chapters of this whole story that are just information, and they're from you, and they're the facts. They're not bullshit. It's your version of everything that's happened. People can go and read the police report, they can go and do all that, but I'd quite like to get something that when people get brought to this case, it would be good to be able to send them to somewhere where everything is audio based and everything is forwarding to, or actually it can just be done on your Facebook as well, because I'm pretty sure videos are pretty good on Facebook as well, because it's just so complicated, Kim. And what I don't want is an audience being split down the middle of people who are happy to read shit and the other half are like, fuck reading shit. Do you know what I mean? Because there's so much.
Yeah.
And I just want to try and break it down.
I get that a lot, and I try to explain to people what I underline things that, I'm trying to point out.
Yeah.
Because I know it's a lot of information. And every time I go over it, I'll see something. Like this last time, I saw where their second accident specialist reconstructionist said one of the things he based this on, his determination that this is what happened, was blood in and around her car. He said in her car.
But they said there wasn't any blood in the car, right?
Yeah, I'll send you a bunch of stuff. I'll send you pictures we have that has blood in the car right now.
See, all of this, again, we need to just break this down. And again, it needs to be done in a way that when people stop it and go to bed that day, it's easy to pick up where they left off and just have you that tool so that people can get caught up in this in a couple of hours of audio and know what's happening, really. That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
We need to talk
And
to
I
that.
will say that Kim is very good on Facebook about describing everything that she posts. I mean, she really gets into the descriptions really well. It's really
Absolutely
easy
she
to
does.
follow. But
Yeah.
yeah,
You've
like
got to
I get it.
understand.
If you don't like to read.
You've got to understand there's the book people and there's the audio book people. Do you know what I mean? And
yes,
this is just so massive that people will just binge this when they're pretending to be at work when they're working. Do you know what I mean? People will just pop that in their ears and get caught up with it all. And that's what we need. So that's what we're going to do. We'll figure all this out. Like I say, with all of us, ain't got nothing but time right now. So I'd like to focus next week on things that have happened since all of this has happened, and looking into the detective, I think would be a good place to start poking the first bear, shall we say? Because
you want to start from the very beginning with her, like different things, different. Okay, we'll start from the very beginning, and I would tell you when things changed and how she treated us, and go into these statements.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
explain
And
things.
just remember, if there's a lot of things on one section, if for example, we get, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours into it, and there's still a lot more to go, we'll just do a part two on the detective chick, and
Okay.
just do that the next time.
Okay.
And to be perfectly honest with you, what we could do is plan a bunch of back-to-back stuff next week where we come on and we maybe do 3 nights in a row and they're hour-long shows, just to get any vital parts out there that are relevant now to stuff that's gone on with the detectives, just getting all the parts of the story that you and, you know, your family have experienced behind the scenes, and a lot of us have missed out on the facts of, especially when you're saying that this I can't believe that the detective just sat on her arse.
She never went to the scene. I asked her. She never went to the scene. And she was so upset that my dad did. She called me and told me if he did not stay away from that scene, she was going to arrest him for tampering with evidence.
Oh,
it is on an interstate, and she was going to arrest him.
You need to get me her phone number. I need to phone her. I need to have a chat.
Oh, I got it.
I need to phone this woman and be like, what? Do you know what we could do? I wonder if I could phone her and convince her she's being interviewed for her incredible detective abilities, right?
Oh no,
for accolades.
And then we just lead her down a path where we're like, you know, talking about detectives who don't bother getting off their ass to go and check on things, and then just edit her up real nice in a video. Yes, that's what happens to detectives who sit on their ass and don't do their job properly. We can just shame them on the Webernet. Yay!
Well, and the fact that she shamed Jaleayah so much. I mean, how many times, Kim, did she say it? The word plastered, like 13.
And you know, she would describe other people as intoxicated, but with Jaleayah, it was plastered. And it was, oh, come on now, you can tell us, you know, she's gone. Did she do drugs?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it went on and on. She tried so hard to push the drugs. And then when the toxicology report came back, then she pushed the drunk driving. And I mean, to the point where she was intimidating somebody she was getting
she would ask somebody, okay, so were you intoxicated? All right.
I've never been so intoxicated.
But Jaleayah was plastered, right? That's how she would phrase a question. It's horrible.
In front of Kristen and her dad and Kristen's attorney.
Yes.
How drunk do you have to be to go sideways out a window because of an airbag, though? I'm just confused here. Like, what is the alcohol level that the detective is trying to point out that's required for you to fire yourself sideways out of a passenger? I don't understand.
Never, and Jaleayah would not have called her sister if she was planning on driving drunk. I'm sorry, but if she
Jaleayah would not drive that car drunk. See, there's a story behind that car. She had a car that my dad gave her that he had kept stored in a garage. It ended up getting totaled, right? And Jaleayah didn't really take care of the car, and she felt very bad about that. But when it got totaled, the insurance money came, and she wanted her grandpa to help her pick out a car. And when she found one she liked, he came and test drove it with her. And he asked her, do you like it, honey? And she said, yeah. And he said, well, you can have it. And so that car meant a lot to her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, and just in your text messages with her, she had already said that she wouldn't drive. So,
that screenshot, yeah, she said, I won't, I promise.
Yeah.
No, she wasn't going to drink and drive. She planned on staying with Kristen. And apparently she wasn't going to drink and drive. She's calling Tobby and asking Tobby to meet her. And according to Kristen, she's asking, you know, to pick her up. So Jaleayah had no intentions of driving that car.
And just when you think you're starting to understand it, you just remember, oh yeah, and there's a good possibility the first 911 caller was talking a lot of shite, because none of that makes sense. So what? I still don't.
I'm going to shoot you an email tomorrow, and I'm going to send you a lot of stuff, and it's going to kind of make sense of where I'm going with this and who you should talk to.
Okay, good, because I'm like, as soon as I've got some fingers pointing in directions, we'll be off ski with this, and we'll just keep cracking on. Now let me just think about what day is it? Thursday. So when are we next going to do this?
Whenever. I'm good any day.
Yeah, let me speak to Christina.
I'm always available
Yeah.
as well. I'm always available.
Because what we could
Especially
do
with all this going on.
on nights where we've already got streams, we can do. I'm happy to double up on streams and things like that. But what we can do is we can make them really specific to one particular area for you, Kim. Do you know what I mean? So if one of the streams is
that's what I told Christina.
Yeah.
You just tell me what you want, and I'll give you all the details.
Okay.
Because there's also a lot of stuff that was said to us by the police that people are not aware of, that aren't in that document. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
There's a lot behind the scenes, sort of.
Well, I need to get a really slap in the face thumbnail made for this detective's evening, like, and it, you know, the gross incompetency of detective freaking whatever her name is, and just really make sure that it just is not pleasant for if she ever sees it. 100%. I wanted to make sure that at no point do I consider that she did her job properly in the slightest. Okay, I've watched enough Brooklyn Nine-Nine to know you can't solve a crime sat at a desk. Okay, I know this. Doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if the detective was investigating the case of the neighbor's missing cat that suddenly turned out to be in a tree. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But not the death of a child. Do you know what I mean? Not the death of a child.
And it's not just that. They saw those photos of my daughter, okay? They saw what happened. And I had to say goodbye to Jaleayah by touching her through a body bag. It was covered up with a blanket, and that's all I got, because there was nothing on her body that I could see that wasn't damaged or bruised or cut.
Yeah.
Oh, so sorry.
It's so horrific. Yeah, I'm really sorry too.
And looking back at it now, so help me, I wish I would have unzipped that bag and at least saw her hand. Just something, just her skin anywhere. It would have hurt me, you know. It's something that I wouldn't forget, but it's something that I regret now that I didn't at least try to do that.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that was just her physical being, and her spirit goes on beyond that. So.
Well, let me tell you about when I saw those photos from the medical examiner. I put that off for a long time until the girl that did the podcast kept mentioning how she's seen photos that we've never seen. And I was like, piss on this. So I went back and I looked. And when the pictures that I originally saw, Jaleayah was in her clothing that I recognized, and she had blood all over her. And I knew it was her, okay? But the photos from the medical examiner, she was completely washed off. And there were things like the shape of her hands that I could recognize, and of her body, the color of her skin, her toes, you know, all of that. But when I saw her laying there clean, you know how people will tell you that once someone dies, their spirit leaves their body? When I looked at those photos, it was like, that was it. I knew that wasn't Jaleayah laying on that table. Yes, it was her, but her spirit was gone. Her soul was gone. It was where it needed to be. And it's weird. It hurt me, and it hurt me, and it hurt me, but at the same time, it gave me some comfort.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I got your tweet, Psycho. I'll look into that for sure. Yeah, it's just it's frustrating, Kim, knowing you're having to go through all this. It really is. It's infuriating.
Yeah, and the length of time that it's taken. You know, Toby's getting older, and she's going to want to have children. And, you know, I love both of my girls equally. And I don't want to take time away from Toby and my grandchildren because I'm put in this position to do what they should have done from day one.
Don't worry about that, Kim. That's what the internet's for, Kim. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. It will be.
And that's what the surviving life
Yeah.
family's for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be muchos assembling of teams and seeing what people can come up with. But definitely digital footprints are one to look into. There's going to be one dumbass out of them all that's even just once just done something that they shouldn't have in a digital format for all of this. And
Well, and I think it's funny. I've read stuff about how Freddie's gone out there and gotten drunk in bars and said, "Oh, I've killed once before. I'll do it again."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much of that is talk because I don't think he was necessarily the driver.
No.
But to go out there and say something like that after you've been involved in technically what to him was just a scandal, like
Yeah.
why would you just
Yeah.
say that?
I agree. Like, literally, shark attack makes more fucking sense to happen on a highway than the fucking official report on all of this. Everyone's statements, none of it makes any sense. None of it. None of it.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And after I send you the email that I'm going to send you, then, yeah, you'll know what direction to go.
Yeah. Wicked. And I can't wait to start wiggling my winkle stick and start poking the bears because that's what I love that shit, especially when an injustice has been done. There's no rules, Kim, when injustice is being played out. So I'm down to help in any way, and yeah, we'll see what this police force has got to say, because it's fishy. There's something going on. Retired policemen. I think the more as well, if anyone out there in the side chat world has any current or retired law enforcement people anywhere in the world, not necessarily in America, that can assist in looking over this and identify areas where things were mishandled or perhaps things weren't done properly, that would be a massive help. Don't poke a bear with a winkle stick. Yeah, all right, okay, that's good. I'll remember that. But that would be a big help. I think the more educated responses on the police work that we can get, that would be amazing, because that's going to be a big it's the word I'm looking for, push for a lot of the interweb to just get outraged. And that's what I'd quite like to happen, because once we get the internet triggered, that's going to be a snowball effect for just people pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing.
Yeah, and triggered in the right way, not a podcast like some other people, not you, but other
Where
people
everything's
have gone
all
out there
edited
and
and
said such horrible things about Kim.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got to be so careful who you watch on this topic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. And you know what? See, once we actually crack a part of this and the ball starts rolling and things start coming out, I can't wait to talk to the other podcasters. That's what I'm saving my, hey, do you fancy coming on the show?
Did I tell you who it was?
I can't fucking wait.
Ron, did I tell you who it was? Or do I need to send that to you?
Nah, it's the fucking crazy blonde-haired chick and a couple of dumbasses on a fucking podcast. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. No, Ron's terrible with names, but never forgets the dumbassery of a face.
I know.
Terrible with names, but the face, I got everyone by their face. But yeah, I mean, wow, just wow. But yeah, I'm saving my emails for them for when we start peeling away the outer layers of the onion, and I lead them over to the big piles of mess that they've left in the past, and I rub their faces in that as well. It's just, I love watching people who've fallen on their own swords. It's great. It's even better when you're the ones that gets to give them the nudge down the staircase. So 100% behind you, Kim, 100% in your corner, 100% behind really starting to drive this forward now. Looking to see where we're in areas where police have either swept things under the rug or they've not wanted to investigate things properly. 100% in for getting as many law enforcement and retired people from around the world assessing the way these police have conducted themselves. I will also say, anyone who is going to pass that message on to anyone law enforcement or retired, 100% anonymous. Their involvement can be 100% anonymous for that, for obvious reasons. And I've watched so many that were wrong on their details, and I've been blocked by several for correcting them, says Chastity Carver out in the side chat. Yep, welcome to YouTube. It's great how the information is just vanishes, just opinions, just the truth gone. Welcome to the internet. It's crazy. But I think this evening we've really, and again, I know that all of this information is a lot. Anyone who's just jumped in this evening and is sitting there and this is the first you've heard of it will be pulling the face that I've been pulling most of the night, which is shock, confusion, and that mild migraine brewing in your brain. That's okay. This isn't like a 10-piece preschool puzzle, okay? This is one of these puzzles where it's 10,000 pieces and it's just blue. There's no fucking any picture, it's just blue. And it is impossible to put together. And getting that information bite-sized for you, we're going to start getting that done. We will start pushing forward, like we say, with the research, and we'll just start finding our little areas to focus on. And I think that'll make this series a lot better, and I think that'll also drive the information out a little bit better as well. Because my whole thing of starting at the beginning and going, you're right, it's too massive. So breaking it all down, I think that's the way forward with regards to anything that's like a video series that we're going to do. And certainly once we sort of get everything up to date, anything new that we find, live streams are great and things like this, but it's always good to have a video where it's not a live stream. Basically the analytics on YouTube and the audience reach is a lot bigger on videos than it is on uploaded live streams. So we'll start getting some tools that we can start using the algorithm a little bit to our favor, and yeah, start, like I say, poking the bear, because I do like that. So Kim, thank you so much for being here and just being super brave and not giving up on any of this and making your daughter super proud. And yeah,
thank you for having me on.
Hey,
And she is so proud.
Kim, you are part of this family of the Surviving Life Chaos crew now. So just use our, use what we can give you resource wise, and we just want to try and help. So, and at no point is it going to end up like your previous experiences. So there's something going on, and we're going to have to try and find it. So thank you so much for being here again, Kim. Christina, thank you for all the work you've been doing behind the scenes with this, because I'll be honest with you, there's so much going on just with my children being lunatics since this pandemic. They've just heard virus and pandemic and went, the rules are gone. They've just, I don't know what. Free for all. That's what they've heard. We've said pandemic, isolation, viral outbreak, and they've just heard free for all. That's what they've heard. Yeah. Little fuckers. But I mean, I love my kids. We all love our kids. But wow, it's amazing when you're shut inside the building with them for just prolonged periods of time, how bored they get, and just the stir. I mean, I woke up this morning, opened the curtains, and a single tear just rolled out of my eye when I seen it raining, right? And I was like, fuck, they can't go outside yet. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
So, but luckily...
That's how it's been every day for me.
Like, it's okay. Like, yesterday was a really nice day, and Runa was just, I think she was like 5 hours on a trampoline, just... So she was knackered, still refused to sleep, but at least she's outside, and they're just getting to be kids a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and if I could just bottle some of that energy.
Oh man.
Just a little vial of
just,
it.
No.
Oh, how great that would be.
Fucking hell. Oh man, that would be amazing. Do you know what would be even better is, you know, the new phones where if you put them back to back. Carver, welcome to the Freedom Army. Be tuned on Monday, Members Monday here on YouTube, and just to show you Just oh man, this was last Monday. Everyone decided a few weeks ago that it would be really funny if my 3-year-old got to do makeup on me. All right, obviously, because you know that's what you want is a 3-year-old with things close to your eyeballs. So let me just see if I can get this photo in frame for you. This really sums up the whole night. Do you see how happy? Come on, focus camera. Do you see how happy that little girl is and how unhappy that man is? Do you? Do you see that? So yeah, liquid eyeliner, lipstick, highlighter, eyeliner. I was not pretty, okay? But yeah, these are the sort of ridiculous things we do on Members Night. And Runa, like I say, is apparently involved in some mad apocalyptic free-for-all. Managed to take part this time, so it was really, really good. So do remember Members Monday. Chastity, come and join us. Yeah, you just seen that on the stream now, are you? Yeah. It was good fun, don't get me wrong, but
how old is she?
She's 3. But when someone comes at you with an eyeliner pen and they're holding it like a dagger, right, just stabbing you in the eye, yeah, it was good fun. It was good fun.
Night Ron went blind.
It wasn't as bad as the night that I rubbed that face cream on my eyelids, and it was so burny. It was so burny, but it was like the chamomile or something in it wasn't meant to go near your eye. But hey, listen, making a fool of yourself in front of your subscribers is the cornerstone of what makes YouTube. Oh, apparently the stream is lagging. Well, listen, do you know what? Stream, I think you done us proud this evening for not making it laggy all night.
Yes.
So big shout out to the internet gods for blessing Kim and Kim's stream this evening with a steady bandwidth. And it's starting to drop now a little bit, which is fine. Thank you, internet gods. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Christina. Thank you to all of the supporters, the Patreons, the members, the people that just click subscribe. If you're new, please remember to subscribe. Literally 55% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed. What is that about? It's free. Just click the button, okay? And if you're watching this back on Facebook, listen, just subscribe, okay? Just subscribe. I really appreciate it. Kim would really appreciate it too. See, okay? I'm just saying. Make sure you go to Kim's Facebook page. The link's in the description. If you can, please check out once again Kim's GoFundMe, again in the description. Any of the links you need for Surviving Life, any of the links you need for live streams, you will find in the link tree. Join us on Discord. And if you want a manual update on any of the streams, add me on Snapchat, Surviving Life YT. The stream is apparently super laggy, and we will be back. We will be back with Kim. I'll let everybody know when the next stream will be. And thanks again, Kim, for being here. And we'll catch you all in the next one.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Kim, and thanks Christina.
Kim. Thank you.